Artificial intelligence is everywhere, so much so, I wouldn't be surprised if my trash can pitches me its AI features. Whether we realize it or not, AI is now woven into our daily lives, from Google searches to, yes, even writing this intro. But here's the real question. How do we use AI without losing our edge or our judgment? Welcome to the Entrepreneurial Podiatrist. I'm Dr. Andrew Schneider, president of the American Academy of Podiatric Practice Management. Today, we're diving into how AI is reshaping the way we run our practices, what's already useful, what's still hype, and where the smart opportunities lie. Joining me today is my co-host, Greg Hardy, CFP, AEP from Beyond Financial Planning. Greg, how's it going today?
It's going pretty well, Andrew. Thanks for asking. It's a nice sunny day here. How about you? How you been, my friend?
It is, I'm in Houston, and it is for October still in the mid 90s, and it's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's
brutal.
It is brutal. I'm waiting for the fall weather to come. It'll probably come in mid-November.
Right. Good. So things going since we last talked?
Yeah, things are going good. Things are busy, and I'm excited to talk about our topic today, artificial intelligence. Are you using AI in your practice at all?
It's kind of interesting. Although AI seems to be everywhere, right? Everywhere we go, somebody's got something to say about AI, whether it's good or bad. The financial services industry is very slow to adapt to new things and technologies. Some of it has to do with privacy issues, and some of it has to do just with the industry overall, kind of an old school mindset sometimes. But we are starting to see some applications of it in our business, and we're starting to continue to vet those options and what they mean for how we can implement them and help our staff, myself, our clients, obviously. And so, yeah, we are. It's everywhere. How about you?
Yeah, I'm very tech driven myself, so I kind of was an early adopter with AI, and I use it for a ton of things ancillary to the practice, but I do use things within the practice itself. And the main one that's the most visible is I use AI note taking. So I use an AI software that listens to my visits with my patients. It's ambient listening. It takes the important stuff regarding the note and how the patient's doing and our plans, and that goes into my note. And the stuff about talking about their trip to Europe, unless it's pertinent to their problem, that doesn't go into the note. And I've been using it for about a year now, and it's amazing how much better it's gotten over the course of the year. And in fact, they just put out a new version of what we're using, and it's even better. So it's amazing how fast AI is exploding. And if you look how fast, uptake was for different things like social media, Facebook, how long it took for people to get on board with that. I think AI went to like 10 million in like 2 days with ChatGPT.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I have a chart that I show, and it's like the under assumption of how further technologies or future technologies were used, prior technologies. Smartphone, the internet, the PC, like you would have never expected those to be what they are today back when they first happened. And so I agree with you. I think AI is just going to continue to grow. And I'm sure that's taken a lot of time off your plate, because if you're like me, I type a lot of meeting notes, client phone calls, things like that. They all have to go in our CRM management system. And I'm assuming that you're doing the same thing now, but not having to type them, and you're able to record those. And do you think that's saving you like hours a week, perhaps?
It's probably saving me about an hour and a half to 2 hours per day, because I selected my AI scribe based on its compatibility with my electronic health record. So I wanted one that would automatically go right into the electronic health record, because I did not want to have to copy and paste. That would negate any time savings that I had if I had to sit and copy and paste it into my note. So the system I use is a third-party system, but it drops the note right into my electronic health record. So I do have to edit it. I never trust AI on the surface. I always need to make sure that it's really what we talked about. And the objective part of our note, which is when I discuss my findings of when I'm actually examining a patient, unless I'm narrating my my assessment and talking out loud about what I'm doing, it's not going to pick it up. It can't see what I'm doing. So I always have to add in something in that objective area of my note to reflect my actual examination. There are people who do narrate it. I prefer to make it more of a connection with my patient rather than a connection with the AI or connection with the tablet or connection with the computer. So that's my choice.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, we have a similar situation now too, where it's not only putting it into our CRM system, but then if we have a workflow or another action item that has to take place after that, it will start to kick off those workflows or actions to other team members as well. And that's kind of the next phase of this, right? The peeling back the onion is that kind of that first layer of a glorified note taker. And then the second layer is, again, what else on the next level down, on the deeper level, can it do for you?
Right. And of course, for us, we have to worry about HIPAA. We have to make sure that everything that we're doing is HIPAA compliant. And I'm sure you have regulations on the financial side where you can't just open up people's financial histories to an AI. There has to be safeguards there as well.
Mm-hmm. And that's part of the reason why it's taken so long to vet some of the sources and the firms that are doing this stuff. And it's, where are they storing these logs and how long are they stored and all that type of stuff. And yeah, it's a whole new world out here with AI. And I think it's probably only going to, to continue to evolve.
For sure. I mean, again, just look at ChatGPT and a new version comes out every 4 to 6 months. And it's so much pronounced, so much better than the versions before it. It used to be that some of the AI image creators where you could put in a text and it creates an image for you. It used to be that they could not do hands or feet. They were very limited, which of course limited my use of them because I need the feet. But now, at least some of them, Midjourney still can't do feet, but the ChatGPT DALL-E can do feet really well. So it's, so everything's progressing. So it works, it's getting better and it's only going to get better. And that's the scary part is that it's pretty good now. How much better can it get?
Just a question. This isn't on one of our talking points, but curious to know if you know this. My understanding of AI was it was scrubbing like databases or the internet for previous years, and at some point it's going to catch up with real time. Is that true? Do you know?
Yeah. Well, before it used to not be connected to the internet. Now all the major models are connected to the internet. So that limitation that was there at one point where it was like up until like 2022, it didn't know anything past that. That limitation is gone. Oh, okay. Now they're all able to access the internet and there's really, they're caught up. They're caught up to real time. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. And that's why in some ways, ChatGPT is taking the place of search engines in some cases, where people, instead of searching for the best financial planner, they're gonna ask ChatGPT what the best financial planner is, and that's a challenge from our side as we spent all this time optimizing our websites for search engine optimization. Now we have to worry about AI optimization to come up on answer that question: who's the best podiatrist in Houston, and somehow make sure I come up. And I think the way of doing that is still as much content as you can put out there, whether it be your website, videos, YouTube. I think AI takes your whole presence into account before they answer that question. And the more you have, the better it's going to be.
Yeah, we've actually had some meetings with our marketing team about that exact thing, right? Not just showing up in a Google search of, financial planners in Michigan or whatever the case may be, but how to show up when people are asking ChatGPT for the answer, because they're asking Chat GPT for every answer almost in some cases, especially the younger generations.
It's true. I think the younger generation very soon, just like the younger generation doesn't do Facebook, they only do Instagram and TikTok. I think they're going to not be searching on Google anymore. They're going to be focused on YouTube and ChatGPT or whatever AI they choose. That's the biggest player in the sandbox right now. So outside of actual financial work or outside of my patient directed work, what do you use AI for, kind of with from an administrative perspective? From a do you use it for help with any scripting, SOPs, or anything like that?
Yeah, we're actually just working on some of that implementation as well. And that's probably going to be for us a different AI resource or tool due to the fact that some of the stuff that we will end up using for our meeting notes and client follow up is it's built with that model in mind. And we live in a Microsoft environment for the rest of our office stuff, and so we've been playing around with Copilot, and we've been looking at some other tools that can help do some other follow up for internal meetings. And so we're trying to decide the best course of action. We're testing these things, and we're looking at some of the, like you mentioned, these new upgrades that are continuing to be rolled out. And I'm trying to find something that will be adaptable as our business continues to grow. I don't want to implement something or bring a tool on that is going to have to be changed in 6 months or a year. So what we're looking in for that from an efficiency standpoint is more like our internal meetings, or possibly, to your point, we've got some SOPs that need to be reviewed and standardized. And how can AI do that? And it's pretty exciting because that saves a ton of time. I mean, just outside of the note taking and meeting follow up, running a business, there's a ton of different stuff you can need to do and automate as much as possible. So how about you? What are you finding outside of the patient care items that you're working on?
Well, I do a ton with it. And first of all, just to your point, for meetings, I actually just got in the mail this week a wearable that I ordered at some point. I order stuff all the time, especially with AI. I just love it. But it's a wearable. It's a pendant around your neck, and you bring it into meetings with you, and it will summarize the meetings, and it will recognize different voices. It'll recognize your voice because you train it on your voice. But it'll give you a summary of the meeting. It'll give you action items that you need to do, or who needs to do the action items. And it's actually, it's a pretty cool device, which I, of course, can't remember the name of right now. There are a number of them out there. I mean, this is by far, I know one is called OMI, OMI. I'm a beta tester for that one. But there's this one this is actually their production version, and it works really well. So it's and then they say it can be HIPAA compliant. I'm not going to use it in the office. I think that's, there are too many third parties. If you go third party to third party, there reaches a point where something's not HIPAA compliant. So I'm not planning on using it for that. But I use it I have a YouTube channel, and I use it to help create my video scripts. It's cut down the time that I require to get a really robust script. My videos are about 12 to 14 minutes in length. So I always ask for a teleprompter script, and it's done well. And, again, it's a good first draft, but first drafts take a really long time. So if it gives me a good first draft that I just have to tweak, it's much better than having to do other things, having to do it all myself. I've done a lot with AI with my inbox. I have an AI that goes into my email and sorts it, not just from what's social media and what's important. It'll prioritize. It'll even draft responses where I could just click OK or modify the responses. So that's another pretty cool use that I'm playing with. and really writing and just I'll put like I mentioned I wrote my intro and then I put it into a specific GPT for copywriting and just had it improve what I had to say. So I wrote the intro, it just improved on it.
Mm-hmm. Question: the one you're using for your email management box, is that something through like Google or Microsoft, or is that a third-party AI tool that bolts on to that and can do that for you?
It's a third party. It's called Superhuman.
Okay.
I've been using it for a couple of years now. It works really well. It's like $25 a month. And it's gotten so much better since I was actually looking to get rid of it, and then they added the AI and it just made it so much better.
Nice.
So it works really well. Their whole goal is to get you to inbox zero. That's a challenge for me. I'm not good at inbox zero.
That sounds like a huge goal on my end.
Yeah, I've hit it a few times, but
Man.
I'm not good at keeping it there.
You're a better man than me in that part.
But AI, I've really tried to implement it. I mean, something as mundane as sitting with my wife and planning meals for the week. You can ask AI to plan your meals and give you a shopping list. Give you recipes and give you a shopping list, and the shopping list will have everything you need for those recipes, and it just amalgamates it all together. And I've actually had some pretty good recipes that way.
That's cool. So that's a new one for me. I'm going to try that. I like that. Meal planning at the Hardy household can get repetitive sometimes. So I'm going to throw out some new ideas. Kid-friendly Chat GPT meal prep coming up next week.
Yeah, that's what you got to do, is just give it as robust a prompt as you can, and it does really well. Again, not everything's great, but tell it what you have in the kitchen, tell it what you like and what you don't like, and it actually works really well.
So you mentioned something, prompting, and maybe for some people that aren't as familiar with AI and how that works, do you want to talk a little bit about the prompting and the techniques that are important that will help drive some of the specific outcomes there?
Sure. Prompting, what AI is it's called a LLM, a large language model. So essentially it understands what we put into it, and it's going to take those commands and give you the output. And the more robust a input you give, the more robust an output you'll get. So the old computer adage, garbage in, garbage out, applies wholeheartedly to AI. If you give it junk, if you give it a one-line prompt, it's going to give you not what you want, and you're going to say AI stinks and push it aside. But one way to actually learn how to prompt is to tell AI what you want and ask it to give you the prompt. So you can use AI to create the prompt to prompt itself to give you the answer you want, which kind of sounds like you're kind of chasing your tail that way. But it's just the way prompts are built. It's not necessarily how we think. It'll understand how we think, but to give case in point, if you go to any AI image generator and type in what you want, the image you get will never be the image that you are picturing in your mind, because it's what we tell it and what it understands are two different things. And that applies very well for the large language models also, like ChatGPT, Claude, all of them are really prompt driven. And sometimes you might want to use one AI source to create the prompt for another AI source. I've done that too. So the prompt is important, and the key is to be as specific as you can, and see what the output is, and don't just run with it. Improve your prompt. The other thing you can do is, after you give a prompt, you can ask AI if it has any questions to make its output more favorable to what you want. And AI will give you a list of 3, 4, 5, 10 questions that you can answer, and that's going to improve what you gave them as a prompt. So it's going to look at the variables that I thought I was clear in this, but it's asking me, do you want this or that? So I say, I want that. So now that improves the prompt that way. And then it's going to do that through all the questions.
Yeah, and I find mine always wants to continue helping. Like I ask it to do one thing, and it'd be like, "Can I do this again for you, or can I change this, or just continue to explore ways to better refine it."
Yeah, it's again, it's a computer. Its job is to a computer's job is to give us what we want, is to give us the output that we want, and that's how a computer succeeds. So it's going to keep trying until we're satisfied with the answer that it's giving us.
So what do you think? I guess we both probably agree that AI is around to stay in our opinions. But what do you think's the hype in what's real versus what we may see change over the years?
Well, I certainly from a practice standpoint, using in the practice, I think we're going to see a lot more AI scheduling. I think we're all a little nervous about that because no one likes to give away the control of their schedule. I think that we're going to see a lot more AI coding. Right now, the codes that my AI gives me for billing purposes are usually wrong. So I actually turned that feature off because I was tired of just deleting it. But I'm sure that's going to get better. But I think from the other side of things, from an audit standpoint, you're going to see insurance companies using AI to look at progress notes to audit. And we're going to see an increase in audits that are driven by AI.
Wow. Yeah, I heard of one advisor, and I can't tell you who it is, but they actually have an AI like chat bot, and it's like him, like some computer generated model that he can reply to clients that have questions. And it's a human relationship a lot of people are seeking with, whether it's their financial person or their healthcare provider. And some people might not like that, but I guess he's had raging success with implementing that. So I don't know, sometimes might go way past just even scheduling an appointment, and there might be pushback depending on who your client base is and the demographics or the age of that. But there might be some clients or patients that really enjoy the time saving and they can just do it themselves when they want to versus calling an office between 8 and 5 to schedule an appointment, for example.
Yeah, there's going to be pushback on everything, Greg. I mean, when we started collecting cell phone numbers to text our patients, reminders, it was like we were asking for their firstborn. Now people don't even have landlines anymore. And they just happily give over their phone number. And they just ask, can't you just text me? Why do you have to call me? Can't you just text me? And so every time there's something like this, anytime there's a change, especially when it comes to technology, there's going to be pushback. But I can tell you that from my AI scribe, I've had 0 people so far ask me to turn it off. I've not. I always mention that I have an AI scribe. I don't just kind of sneak it in. And I've had nobody ask me to turn it off. So I think people are pretty comfortable with AI.
I got one other question for you in regards to how we're seeing AI leveling the playing fields for small businesses. So we've talked about some of the techniques, we've talked about some of the tools, we talked about some of the background, but why don't we share a little bit about our experience with how it may be helping smaller businesses serve the needs of their patients or clients either better, faster, or just more efficiently for whatever reason that might be?
Well, I think it cuts out, first of all, I think it's only going to get better. Like we discussed, it's only going to get better. But I think right now there's a lot of ancillary things that we would outsource that AI is able to do, like easy graphic design. If we're just this from designing a form for the office, we can go on Canva and use the Canva AI to design that very easily. And Canva is a free tool with a premium side, of course. But I think AI from taking forms and transposing it into documents using AI, that's something else that, again, they're what we would consider busy work. Rather than have another human in the office to do this busy work or a virtual assistant, I think AI will fit that bill in a lot of cases.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for me, a lot of advisors have hired another support staff person to do those notes that we're talking about being able to be automated. And along with that, while it creates jobs, it also comes with, payroll and taxes and benefits and those types of things. And so if we've got, 3 advisors in an office and they all need somebody to be doing those things for them, being able to tap into a technology driven resource that's compliant and safe, man, it's a huge game changer for small businesses if they can, find those tools to implement and stay on top of the changes that are continuing to come.
Yeah, again, it's something. This is not the last we're going to talk about this. I'm sure we're going to have an AI episode every so often because there are new things that keep coming out, and we're just going to stay on top of that.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah,
very cool.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us on this episode of the Entrepreneurial Podiatrist. Please share this episode with anyone you feel will benefit from our insights on AI. Keep the conversation going by leaving a comment wherever you're viewing or listening to this podcast. You can get in contact with us by emailing entrepreneurialpodiatrist@gmail.com or on our websites, www.aappm.org or www.aappm401k.com.